Hey, what's poppin'? Haven't broke down Tesla in a while. Let's get into it, eh? Let's see what's going on with Tesla. I don't know. These days, like, keep in mind, anytime I talk about Tesla, am I biased about it? I wouldn't say I'm biased. Tesla was one of the first investments I made into the market, and I got lucky because timing happened to be blessed. Like, I invested in Tesla. It was March 17th. And I'll never forget that day because it was literally the bottom of the market. I remember getting shares of Tesla. It was like at $420 a share. And then I rode it all the way to their first split, which was right around here, I believe. And then, so it was at like $2,500 a share. And then they split. So then I had 10 shares. So I was like, oh shit, I had 10 shares. So then I sold 8 of them. And then I kept 2, and then I sold a bunch of shares right around, I believe it was at the beginning of this year. So it was probably right around here that I sold a bunch of shares, like right around that. I think it was around $900 around here. Because I don't know again. I could be wrong. I'm starting to forget now. But I have no shares of Tesla right now. So it's been like on my mind, like, should I get back in? Am I watching? Like, it's always on my list, right? It's a very good stock in terms of like momentum trading. It's a growth stock, right? So it does have a lot more volatility to it. If you like to trade or you like a faster moving stock, this is the stock you want. This is one of the stocks you want to pay attention to. But with that, right? So we talk about, of course, it's good to have volatility, but you have to be able to handle the downside volatility as well. So over the past few years, we've seen like Tesla could get some nasty swings in there, right? So when we're looking at this chart, right, it's kind of worrying me right now. I feel like there's a major line in the sand here, right? I don't know if I like that look, that line in the sand look. Like, look how extended we have gotten on this chart. Let's pull up the weekly time frame, right? And let's put up the 8 EMA and see what's popping. We'll go 8, we'll turn on the 50, and then we'll look at the 20 as well after, right? So let's get that 8 up there. Right, so here's the 8 EMA, and we'll close the... So look at this 8 EMA. This is the weekly. Let's go to the monthly time frame. We're now under the 8 EMA on the monthly, right? That's huge. That is kind of a sign that, it could continue lower. And if we're looking at it from a Fibonacci retracement perspective, right, from the very, like, let's say March 2020. So it should be around here, right around March to the top of wherever we were in November 2021. We're at that golden pocket now, right? We're at that zone where we're coming to that zone. Like, this is the perfect area we want to see Tesla hold. But when we're looking at this, right, it could potentially come even lower. Like, if we see Tesla at $100, buy. That's how I'm thinking of it. If Tesla and the rest of the market decides to fold going into the beginning of 2022, right? The final capitulation move, right? If that happens, we're going to see massive opportunity in Tesla, Google, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, like all these names, they're going to be at prices we haven't seen them in forever. And I think it'll be a very large buying opportunity, which makes me very excited. But this is something I'm worrying about on Tesla, and the only reason why I worry about it is, right, and I hate to I'm not bringing this up, these companies have nothing to do with each other, but look at the line in the sand here on FTX, right? Charts look kind of the same, right? I hate to, and I'm not comparing Elon with or Elon with SBF or FTX, nothing like that. They're completely different. But if we're looking at it from a line in the sand perspective, from a weekly time frame, it's tough, right? You want to be careful here. That's my opinion. We have this line in the sand here on FTT, and all it took was one major fuck up where people find out that Bankman-Fried is a fraud and all this bullshit's going on, right? And I'm not saying Elon's a fraud. I don't know much of that information, to be honest. But what I am saying is, oh, that's interesting. This chart has the 200 day. Is that the 200 day? Yeah. Look at the 200 day EMA. We're right at the 200 day EMA on Tesla, which is very interesting. That could be signaling a buy opportunity. But if we happen to, say we go back, let's go back a few moments ago and say that this was the line in the sand, and some news comes out about Elon, about Twitter going underwater, and that causes something to do with Tesla, or maybe Elon's too deep and he can't handle all this shit that he's doing because he's doing too much. I don't know. If that does happen and it causes a collapse in Tesla, the levels we're going to be looking at are that $100 zone. So we're going to keep that leveled out right here, right? That might be the buying opportunity of a lifetime when it comes to Tesla, for at least a small bounce trade or something. I don't know, but the only reason why I bring up the FTT chart in comparison is because there's a lot of screwed up shit going on in the finance world, and I think it's best to be open-minded to all opportunities, like bad and good, what could potentially happen. So I thought I'd bring that up. I do find it really interesting that the 200-day EMA, we're like right lined up on it. So let's get a better look at that. I think that's pretty interesting. 200-day EMA, let's say we slide under it just for a little bit, and then we want to regather a new base. That could be really good for Tesla, because this growth here needs a long time to consolidate. So maybe that's what's happening right now, where we take this huge long period of time before we end up breaking over it in the future. So that's the breakdown on Tesla. For all those who hate Tesla, man, like, just don't hate it because you didn't participate in it. Like, have a valuable reason to hate it. Like, usually when people hate Tesla, they're just because Elon's evil and he's like running slaves' minds and shit. And it's like, oh God. It's one of those, like, I don't care about that shit. I'm focused on the market opportunity. Like, I want to see, is there an opportunity to make money off of this company? Like, that's how I think of it. But I don't know, to each their own. So that's the Tesla breakdown. Peace.